This is the Samsung Galaxy A54, and it might just be one of the best bang for the buck smartphones in 2023. Let's talk about it. The A54 is a continuation of one of Samsung's most popular product lines. The Galaxy A series is said to account for nearly half of the company's total smartphone sales over the past few years, and it's very easy to spot the working formula. Provide the core essentials people look for in a brand new smartphone with minimal compromises, and sell them at a price that the average person can afford. Not everyone wants to or even can spend $800, $900, or even $1,000 for a smartphone, and brands absolutely have taken notice. The lines of perceived quality between mid-range and entry-level flagships are currently very blurred. As a result, depending on what you require of a smartphone can seriously make you question whether or not you need a premium device. So to demonstrate this, I went to my local Best Buy, bought this A54 for about $350, which is $100 under retail, popped my SIM card in, and used it as my daily driver for about a week to get a taste of what this phone is all about. If you're looking for any hints of cheapy vibes, you're certainly not going to get it by the looks. Short of the thicker bezels on its screen, the A54 takes a lot of cues from the flagship Galaxy S line this year. Maybe the plastic frame gives things away slightly, but it's not far off from what the S23 Plus feels like in the hand. Also propping up this illusion is the display, a 6.4-inch 1080p class Super AMOLED that peaks at a respectable 1000 nits. I think it looks pretty good for watching content and playing games, but where this really wins is that 120Hz refresh rate. Transitions are incredibly smooth while navigating around the OS, which adds to the perceived fluidity of the hardware. You even get One UI 5.1 and Android 13, which feel the same as they do on Samsung's flagship products. It even has the same firmware policy, guaranteeing this phone 4 generations of Android updates and 5 years of security. Moreover, the icing on the cake is the battery life. Continuing the tradition from last year's model, the A54 has a 5,000 mAh battery on board. This is good for roughly a day and a half of use in my testing, which is on par with what we got in the previous generation. However, since the A54 is a mid-range product, it goes without saying that there are some glaring compromises that potential buyers should look out for. Firstly, let's talk about performance. The A54 is fitted with Samsung's own Exynos 1380, a mid-range chip that's suitable for most day-to-day tasks. Scrolling social media, browsing the web, and watching video, the average user should be satisfied with the power that it offers. However, you'll start to see a noticeable lack in performance when it comes to gaming, especially compared to other mid-range options like the iPhone SE3, Pixel 6a, and especially generations-old flagships. Genshin Impact runs decently at low to medium settings, but if you're looking for rock-solid gaming performance, there are better options for not that much more money. We'll get to that later on in the video. Additionally, it's not too uncommon to see occasional stuttering here and there in normal use. Not a deal breaker for me personally, but I'll say that it is a big improvement over last year's A53, which got winded way too often for my liking. Though definitely take note of this if you plan on keeping the device for more than a year or two. Another downside with the A54 is a lack of wireless charging. This actually doesn't bug me from a functionality standpoint, but in principle, if it has a glass back, include wireless charging. If you're Samsung, not only is it a drop in the bucket to add a Qi charging coil, but honestly, if not for that, you might as well put a more durable material back there that won't break as easily if you drop the phone. Most people will probably rock a case on their phone anyways, so maybe this isn't such a big deal after all, but I've had people bring this point up to me, especially when it comes to mid-range devices. They want their dollar to go for longer. I honestly can't blame them. Can't buy a new keyboard if I have to spend it on a broken back of the phone. Not, well.
Not only are you dropping your phone, now you're also breaking your back.
On top of that, there's no headphone jack on this A54, which is pretty common for Samsung phones at this point, but it still sucks nevertheless. And the cameras, while serviceable, pardon the pun, are pretty mid. Despite these compromises, the Samsung Galaxy A54 still provides a lot of value for its price point. However, if you're looking for long-term performance with fewer compromises, there are other options out there to consider. All right, here we go. This is where we talk about all of the good shit.
What were we talking about before?
Mid shit. Walk into that one, Luke. A few weeks ago, I made a video highlighting my top 5 smartphones under $500 that you can get here in the US. I'll link it down below in the description, but a key takeaway that's genuinely worth considering if you're cross-shopping mid-range phones is purchasing used or refurbished older generation flagships. If you think about it, one of the many upsides to Samsung selling millions and millions of Galaxy S devices is that there are plenty of them in the used market. And with a bit of searching on the internet, there are absolutely deals to be had.
What kind of deals, Ken?
Good deals.
Not mid deals?
No.
Not now, Luke.
I'm trying.
You can easily get an S22 in roughly the same ballpark as the A54 in price. Not only do you get a premium device that's marginally behind what's new and hot at the moment, but compared to our mid-range A54, it's absolutely worth foregoing some trade-offs going this route. Yes, you're buying into a device that won't have as long a lifespan in terms of guaranteed software updates and of course a pre-worn battery, but you'll have performance, camera quality, and that premium feel in the hands that might be worth it for a lot of people, especially power users. This isn't even factoring in the newly announced Pixel 7a. I'm currently testing one out for a full review that's going live on the channel very soon. But on paper, it's looking to be amazing. Just like its older brother, the Pixel 6a, the 7a boils down everything that makes the 7 great into a package that's very competitive. We're talking about that tight integration between Android and that Tensor G2 SoC, as well as the stellar camera performance and sleek design. All of this for way less than what the standard Pixel 7 costs at retail for $500. That is a $50 upcharge from the Pixel 6a at MSRP. But keep in mind that these phones often get discounted throughout the year. So imagining a Pixel 7a for well under $400 is probably not unreasonable as long as you're patient. And at that price, I think it'll give the A54 a run for its money. But let me know what you think about this phone in the comments below. And otherwise, thanks for watching this episode on Denki channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.